That's right. Well, there's no camera, so.
Matthew?
Yes, Mr. Gale, good afternoon.
You're hearing me. I was here waiting. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm about to start another 2 minutes. I'm just
All right. Let
getting
me
my.
just upload this. I've never been a presenter on this before. I'm always on the other side. Shall I
Oh, okay.
believe it is share screen? So let me just.
Okay. Well, I just made you a co-host, so you can go ahead now.
All right. It's share screen that I go to, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And okay. Can you help me from here? Okay. I think I see.
Oh,
I think I see it.
okay. Well, I wouldn't be able to see what you want to
Oh,
share.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to believe
Uh,
you're seeing a screen, correct?
well, the screen has changed, but what? Okay, yes, I'm seeing your screen now.
All right. And all right. So the screen that I'm seeing, everybody's seeing that, correct?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, alrighty. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope we are all doing well. Thank you all for coming out for our third Employment Empowerment session for semester 2, academic year 2020-2021. All right, so today's session will be on networking as shown in the shared screen. And our presenter is here, ready and raring to go. So I am just going to introduce him. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce him, and the platform will be all his for the remainder of the session. And just a brief housekeeping matter as well. As soon as you all come in, or as soon as you all have settled, we're kindly asking you to sign the register, which is a Google form link, which was posted in the chat. It will be posted periodically throughout the session. So if you didn't sign once you came in, we're kindly asking you to sign. And an evaluation link will be posted as well towards the end of the session and midway in the session as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker, and we're going to get moving along. All right, so our presenter today is Mr. Oswy Gale, and Mr. Gale is a lecturer in the School of Business Administration, SOBA, in the College of Business and Management, COBAM, at UTEC Jamaica. He teaches modules in management, organizational behavior, research methods, and research supervision. He holds a Bachelor's of Business Administration in Human Resource Management from UTEC, Jamaica, as well as a Master's of Arts in Sustainable Development and a Master's of Science in Management, both from the University of Leeds in the UK, as well as a postgraduate diploma in education from UTEC Jamaica. Mr. Gale is currently pursuing PhD work in organizational behavior. His research interests include subjective well-being, sustainability, education, organizational behavior, and management. Also, he is an author, poet, recording artist, and an entrepreneur. He is passionate about life, people development, poetry, and music. So without further ado, the one and only Mr. Oswy Gale.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matthew Francis. Thank you very much for having me as you're being a part of the Career and Planning Unit. Thank you also to Mr. Maurice Cohoon, who heads that department, and for putting on these empowerment sessions. And the networking, make your brand get noticed, is a part of that beautiful trilogy. And I've been doing this about the third or fourth time around. So let me take the opportunity to welcome everybody being here. Let me quickly do this. Shantai, welcome Shantai. I see a Paul, welcome. Ajay, welcome. Angelica, welcome. Anna K. Shadan, yes, that's Shadan Campbell. Kadeen, Camille, Candace, welcome Randall. And that is Chelsea. Welcome, Chelsea. It would be good if a few persons answer me so I know I'm not here alone. Let me touch base with Gamiel. Gamiel, say something to me. Gamiel. Gamiel. All right, Gamiel. Shante, welcome. That is Shanna Lee. That is Daviana Bennett. Let me just touch base. Let us do this really quickly. That is Ricardo. That is Louis, Jaleel, Jermaine, Brissett, and Jodian, and Jovian, Julissa, and Keisha, or Escarta, Kamal, and that's Ashley. This is Christian, and don't want to leave out anybody. There's a LD, whoever LD is, welcome LD, and that is Ashley, Leah, Lee, and almost there, Lena Davis. That's a colleague of mine in the School of Business Administration, a lecturer, and that is Kamal. I think, let me just ensure I don't miss anybody. And Lewin, Solomon, Moisha, getting there. And I think Moisha stopped the list. Dennis, Reed, Simi, Stuart, Campbell, and Roberts, Henry, Davis, Gray, and there's a Gale, there's a namesake of mine, Robinson, Campbell, and Yuan. Yes, I got that done in less than a minute. I like to touch base with people that you're not just a participant or just an ID number or just somebody behind a camera, but you're a part of the process. And I like to touch base with people. And you heard in my introduction, I'm about happiness. So I know there's power in one's name, and when you hear your name called and how that's a part of you. because it's a part of your brand as well. So let's jump in. So this is what we're going to be doing today. So the presentation is titled Networking, Making Your Mark or Making Your Brand Get Noticed. And this is how I've titled or structured the presentation. I'm going to talk about making your brand, that's the first part, your personal brand, get noticed, thirdly, networking, and finally the way forward. And then towards the end, please, I love to be asked questions and I love to respond. So I've titled that section, Talk to Me, and we'll take it from there. Usually if it's face-to-face, it's usually very interactive. I will see as best as possible how we'll convert this to be an interactive session. As most persons will aware, doing things online is a little bit different for the packaging, and many of us are not ready for that level of technology in terms of the interaction. But here we go, and let us jump in and to network, make our brands, get noticed, network, and let us talk. So in making your brand, in going forward, whenever I say, and the slogan is, I want everybody to repeat, I am a world-class brand, which is on the screen right there. I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive. I network to increase my net worth. Let me just say it alone, and then I'm going to ask persons to let's do this together. So anytime I say throughout the presentation, it is throughout the presentation, and it's a hammer on the point. It's a succinct statement that pulls everything together. I am a world-class brand. I want you to know, all 51 of us or 50-something of us, that's who we are. That's how I see the people I teach, talk to, and all of that. Please note, you are a world, 54 now, you are a world-class brand. And it's very, very important that you feel that way. And moreover, once you're doing a degree, everybody believes you're bright anyway. So may as well you just at least start believing that. So I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive. I network to increase my net worth. So, and the slogan is, let's practice, and the slogan is, let me give you the opportunity to turn on your audio. Got it? Turn on your audio, people. And by now you know that repetition is the art of learning. The more you speak something into the ethers and into your life, it becomes a part of you and becomes true. So, a few persons, your mic is on. Say yes. Say yes, a few persons.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And the slogan is, go.
I am a world-class brand. I have
something to give and receive. I network to increase my net worth.
I don't know where you are going with that. What the blouse and skirts you're talking about? Well, the confusion. Did you know that somebody even said, and the slogan is, who did say that? Identify yourself, because I don't know what kind of brand that. I said, and the slogan is, say that, and somebody literally said, and the slogan is. Stop it, let us try this again. And sound a little bit brighter, and sound like you are indeed a world-class brand. Let us try this once more. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
First, don't bother come talk about, and the brand is, that's not yours, that's mine. And the slogan is, go.
I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive.
Network to increase my
net worth.
I'm going to take it that it's the technology and you're not seeing each other, so you can't do it like a chorus. So this is what we're talking about today, that I am a world-class brand. Let me just look at, I'm going to be interacting with a few persons in a little while. Please note that you have something to give. So never, ever on this planet say you have nothing. Not now, go on. In a colloquial expression Jamaicans like to use, not now, go on. Stop the blouse and skirt foolishness. That's not true. Even a smile can be a part of your brand. There are some persons will pay you just to see you smile. So please note, you have something to give, you have something to receive, and you network. And part of the reason why we're doing it is to increase our net worth. So let us jump into this. So in terms of making your brand, people, let us talk about what a brand is first and foremost. So a brand is a name, a term, a design, a symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's good or service as distinct from those of other sellers. So why are brands important? Number one, they are used in business, marketing, and advertising to sell whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Brands are also used as the embodiment of the organization from an organization's perspective, as well as they are used to distinguish our products and services, as well as it is used as a communication tool. So let me talk to, give me a name, let me talk to Ajay or AJ. Richards, talk to me. Richards, Ajay.
Yes, sir.
Richards, AJ, have you ever seen an X6 before?
Yes,
if you
sir.
say no, please leave the session. Let me ask again. AJ, have you ever seen an X6
Definitely.
before?
Definitely.
AJ, when you see an
Definitely.
X6, don't you know it's an X6?
Oh, yes.
Let me check with Amai. I'm coming back to you, AJ. Amai, Brown.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an X6 with you, by the way? Let me not assume.
No, sir.
Do you drive an X6, Amai? Say yes.
Yes, sir.
You see you.
Yes.
You see you. Amai, don't when you see an X6, you know it is an X6.
Yes, sir.
Let me go back to Richards and I'm going to jump between AJ and Amoy for this one. AJ, how you know it's an X6?
Because it has some distinct features of the X6.
Distinct features. Amoy,
Definitely.
how you know it's an X6?
I would say the same because of the features.
Features. AJ, have you ever seen any X6 break down a road, run out of gas?
No, sir.
Amoy, have you ever seen an X6 park up into one little ghetto area in one little corner right there so it has no owner?
Not that I can recall, no, sir.
Not that you can recall. The point we're making is an X6, like Amoy said, and AJ, communicates something, the features and the design tells you that the brand, as well as it tells you something about the features and the type of product and the kind of comfort that you're going to be getting in it. In other words, it tells you something. In other words, let me just ask Shante. Shante is a part of the co-hosting. Shante, is the person there? Shante. Let me check with Adrian. Adrian, Blackwood.
Here.
Adrian, when you go on the street, would you go and lean up on somebody's X6? Like, seriously? Let me see if you would do that.
No.
Why wouldn't you not do it? Why would you not do it, Adrian?
Because, you know, I might probably get a gunshot or something, you know. And
You are so violent, Adrian. Of all the things you could think about, you think of gunshot. Other than,
and
you're right. No, seriously, you will remember the case with the expensive vehicle about 4 years ago when the person got shot on something, hit their vehicle. Please note, and Adrian, I'm not telling you to go shoot nobody. Please, we need to talk to you. So Matthew, we need counseling for Adrian. He needs counseling. He needs to get back on medication. You hear what he's talking about. But I see where you're going. In other words, you don't just lean up on an X6. You need permission. Moreover, it's not a leaning device. In other words, the brand tells you that this is not a leaning type of vehicle. Let me check with Anarchy Clark. Anarchy Clark. Anarchy, are you there? Talk to me. Let me go with Ashley Hall. Ashley Hall. Ashley, turn on your mic if you're there. Let me go with Miss Lena Davis, lecturer. If you're there, let me hear you. Talk to me, people. So I know I haven't dropped off. Are people hearing me? Let me check now.
Yes, sir. We're hearing you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We're hearing you.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just talking to the wrong people then. All right,
Yes,
let me
we
see.
are. Yes, we are.
No, but you have to talk to me, man. I'm a top brand, you know. Don't play with me, no blouse and skirt play with me. You know, this is not a little station wagon down there you're talking to, you know. Let me check. Somebody all right, somebody who wants to talk to me, a top brand, talk to me then. You're a top brand, talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Tell me who's the top brand so I know this came on, which is, who's talking? Tell me who's talking.
Connolly Jones is speaking to you, sir.
All right, Annalie.
Connor.
Have you, go again?
Name's Connolly.
Connolly.
See.
Yes, I'm seeing it. Connolly, yes, Lee Jones. Have you ever driven in a station wagon before? One of those little taxi on the road?
Yes, sir.
Describe the feeling.
I reckon you'd say it's not as smooth as a luxury vehicle or something of a higher quality, quote unquote.
Tell me now, Connolly Jones, if I put a station wagon in front of you, one of those taxi on the road, and I put a X6 in front of you for taking you home, which one would you choose? Please choose the right one, else leave the class, leave the session, leave the unit.
Right is relative, so I don't know what you mean I should choose the right one or leave.
Yes, you see, which one you would prefer to drive home in?
For myself, the X6, but I'm not picky.
You know what? I'm going to find you. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to seek counseling for you, Connolly. But I see where you're going. The point we're making with this one is that each product, they are distinct. They give a different feel and a different type of comfort and all of that. So what we're saying, Amai, you're a brand. AJ, you're a brand. Get that in your head. Adrian, you're a brand. Connolly, you're a brand. And the rest of the person, you are a brand. And this is what we're talking about. And it's very important that you realize that brands make a difference. It's that symbol, and you communicate to people all the time that about your brand. Now, what is your brand saying? That's what we want to know. And the slogan is,
I am a world-class
brand.
I have something to give and receive.
I network
to increase my network.
Let me just try it singly. Nia, and the brand and the slogan is, Nia, Dennis, and the slogan is,
I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive. I network to increase my net worth.
Shante, and the slogan is, Shante B. Shante B. Let me jump down here. Sabrina Davis, and the slogan is,
I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive. I network to increase my network.
You're a world-class brand. Now, your personal brand, people, it's very important that you start building, if you have not already done so, to build your personal brand. And whether you know it or not, you have started. So your personal brand is the set of all your features and attributes and your overall characteristics of a person that has an emotional connection with people. Can anybody tell me that sometimes they interact with people and they just repel you? Immediately you just want to be out of the presence of that person. They have not said a word. They have done nothing. Just in their presence, just something about the person, you just have to leave. Anybody has ever experienced that before?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Please
sir.
note, that's a part of branding as well. So your personal branding entails all of these shopping lists and more you can add. Your personality, who you are, please note that's a part of your brand and you need to develop that. Your personality, even your education. Do you know that by virtue of going to an interview, for example, and having a UTech degree, you could get a job or not getting a job before the interview even finished? Anybody knows what I'm talking about? Talk back to me, people.
So can you repeat what you just said?
I'm saying, did you know by virtue of just your education, you could go to an interview and just the fact that you came from UTech already they start to have a positive light of you because you went to UTech. The person in front of you might have been a UTech graduate as well, or the HR person or the manager. Immediately as the degree said UTech, immediately that's a part of your branding. Are you seeing where I'm going?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Equally, could you see that because you a UWI person was the interviewer, they start to have heads up? Can you see from that also other angle?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Exactly. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
a part of your personal branding. Even your education is a part of your branding. Which university you went to? I put mine there. I went to Leeds University, and whenever I go out and I say I am from Leeds University, I studied abroad, immediately it's a different level of respect that I get. It's a part of branding as well. Your features, even your smile. Anybody inside here, you consider yourself, you're handsome so till you don't know what to do with yourself. Let me take it from a male angle and then we're gonna get beautiful. Could somebody show yourself, you see yourself, you're so handsome, only God knows. Sometimes you don't even want to leave your house. You don't even want to do this right now. It's just because I'm asking you. You're handsome, bad, like handsome, good, meaning seriously, the sun asks you permission to shine in the morning. Show yourself, handsome, bad, a male, do that. If you think you're bad, do that. Wait a second. I want to believe people did not hear me. Put on your camera and show me the brand. You're handsome, good, seriously handsome. Wait a second. I don't see any camera coming on. Are people having low self-esteem? Because that's a part of personal branding too, which can sink you in life. All right. Are the males hearing me or they're not hearing me? Are people even hearing me? Let me just check.
Yes, sir, we're hearing you.
Hearing you, sir.
All right, let me ask, any males in the session? Let me check it from the angle. Any males in the session?
Yes, sir.
All right, any handsome males in the session? You consider yourself as a part of your brand. You tell yourself, say you're handsome. I never asked you, no measurement. I never said, Miss Kitty said it. You said it. All right. One ugly man, show yourself. You're ugly, bad, and everybody knows, and you don't mind. Show yourself. Wait a second. Seriously? You're ugly, bad, and that's okay. Show yourself. All right, the brands are not working today. Let me try with the female posse. May I have a female who you consider yourself as a part of your branding? You are very beautiful. You said it. You don't ask permission. Who believes it? You know you're beautiful. Show it the brand. Show us the brand. Today, oh, sorry, I didn't tell the males to do it today. Today, in this minute, in this hour before Good Friday. Go. I'm convinced they're not hearing me. Okay, then. Are people hearing me? Let me, oh, they can't hear. Are people hearing me?
We're
All right.
Yes, sir.
A female who believes she's ugly is a part of their brand. Show your face. All right. Ricardo, Lewis, where you fall on the handsome scale then? Because I give the lower end and I give the other end, and no, you never came on. Ricardo, which part you fall on the continuum? Jermaine, where you on the continuum? Brisset? Jovan, where you are on the continuum? No response.
Well, honest, sir. Well, sir, you have to understand, that me, I'm gonna look as presentable as I want to be right now, so I'm not going to show up that right now.
Exactly.
So if you did never look presentable, you'd have show yourself.
If me look presentable right now, of course, sir.
All right, we're going to forgive you for that, but thanks for the participation. But the point I'm making with this, though, people, is that your features, handsomeness, beautiful, however you see yourself, is a part of your features and your brand, personal branding, and you need to know how to use it. So at this time in your life, please don't walk around looking any and any way, because people, it's a part of your brand and people are always judging you, whether you like it or not. Your abilities, what you can do, and I'm not only talking about physical abilities that you can sing and all of it. I'm talking about even your abilities such that you're an excellent analyst, meaning when you analyze something, it is serious. Your talents, your level of motivation, your soft skills, the way you handle things, your values, the way you dress, know how you know yourself, the level of wealth you have, all of that is a part of your personal branding, and it is something you need to take keen notice of. So my brand, for example, the culmination of my brand, when you say Oswego, my values, I am a lecturer, I'm a poet, I'm a recording artist, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm an author, the way I do things, my philosophy in life, my approach to living. People call me all the time to make presentation, or there's something about me, but I know it's about the packaging, how I look, how I sound, how I put things together. If I go and make a presentation, people normally call me back because of how I do it and all of that. Please note, this is the same thing should communicate when you use. So what are we talking about? A business card, people. Please note, when you get a business card, and I want to believe that most of you, please go ahead and do up your business card. You don't have to wait until you finish your degree to do a business card. A business card is a symbol of your personal brand. So please take time to build your personal brand effectively, and one that is built on depth. So please note, your brand is always speaking, even if you do not say a word. The question is, what is it saying? So too is businesses. For businesses, the design, the value, the strategy, the logo, the marketing, the advertising, the identity, and the trust factor, all of that culminates into what a brand is. So make sure you look at the brand. And the slogan is,
I am a world-class brand.
I have something to give and receive.
I
And network to increase my network.
I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive. I network to increase my net worth. Please note, even confidence in and of itself is part of your branding. And a degree, please note everybody, a degree can get you so far, but not always all the way. Sometimes you can find a person with an excellent personality, and Miss Lena Davis is in the class. She teaches HR, so she's a professional in this area, would know that sometimes intellectual people, degree people, sometimes don't have any manners, and sometimes they will take a lower ranked person and then teach them because their emotional intelligence is better or easier to work with. Please note, it's a part of your personal branding. So given that you've been building your brand and you understand yourself and you know how to get yourself around, how do you then get noticed? One, make a positive emotional connection with people wherever you go. And by emotional connection, I mean not just a surface connection. When you talk to people, you look at people, you talk to people, you let them remember you. And I have that as point number 3, impact people in a profound way. So if you're going to do something for somebody, do it properly and done, because you want to get noticed and people will remember even the small things. So let people remember you by the way you dress, the way you sound, the way you do things, the way you do your work. Let your brand speak so loudly that they will call you and pay you to deliver your brand. And I gave you my example before. Let your brand also speak so loudly that you do not have to say a word in a meeting. They just know. Give a business card as a symbol of your connection. That's a way of getting noticed. Be emotionally intelligent. In other words, know when to cuss out people, know when to go silent, know when to just don't say a word on this one, and know when to speak up for yourself, and know when to not do what I think was Adrian said earlier, what he was saying. So be emotionally intelligent and develop a simple elevator pitch of about 30 seconds or less that you use to introduce yourself, that spark a conversation with people other than just the surface thing. And usually I use this one and I put it here, type it out for you. So when I go out and people ask me, who am I, or to introduce myself, I will normally say something along this line or change, it depends on the context I'm in. I am Oswald Gale. I help people transform their lives and become a better version of themselves. That sparks conversation because they still want to know what exactly I do. It sparks a conversation. Then I tell them, oh, I teach, I motivate people, I'm an author. The conversation starts and they start to connect with me and we start to talk about teaching, then researching, then poetry, then this. But remember, primarily, I help people to transform their lives and to become a better version of themselves. That's an elevator pitch because it's a little bit more interesting. I am Oswald Gale. And so what? And say thanks. Even a simple thing like saying thanks can remember you. Right back after a formal meeting. Be brilliant if you are. High emotional intelligence. Learn how to use your degree. Make sure that, say you see an ad in the paper that they want, you're into accounting or you're into medical technology. Please note we gave you a degree or you're doing a degree that it is rich and packaged from many different angles. You got some core modules that you're doing. You got some modules that are general education, like all your communication modules and research and all of that. And then you have some ones that you do that you choose electives. Please note at this level of your degree pursuit, you should be able to know that you can transfer and your knowledge to different areas until you get what you want, or apply your degree to a different context. So they want a researcher, but you have done research methodologies. We did not just give you that because of it's just merely one competence that you should develop. You can do communication. You are exposed to marketing, especially people in School of Business and many different angles. So learn to use your degree. That's a way of getting noticed. Volunteer. When I was studying in the UK, giving you an example as networking, getting noticed, and how that morphs into networking as well. I applied for this. They wanted some mentors. And in the UK, by now, some of you might know that in the UK and some other English countries like that, the Blacks are suppressed from many different angles. And what you will find is that, say a Black kid gives trouble at the school, then you will find that they're in isolation room and all. Some of you might have seen it before. When some white persons give trouble, oh, they have psychological problems and all of these. But when a Black person does something, sometimes it is seen, it's their culture, it is this and all of that. So they have what is called mentors, where they invite Black mentors who are doing well at university to come and motivate persons right in the university. So initially, and it is paid, initially they had no vacancy. What did I do? I went and I volunteered. So for 6 months, I volunteered and I mentored several students, helped them with their homework, counsel them, help them with confidence, talk to them about passion and what they want to do in life and all of that. Guess what, people? Then a job opened up, one of the positions opened up 6 months after that. Of course, because I volunteered and my brand speaks loud, then they recruited me. The following year, people, they were looking for a manager for the mentoring service in Leeds. Guess what, people? I put in a proposal. And another white guy put in a proposal. And because my proposal, thanks to UTEC's degree, we had to do report writing. And when I structured that paper, they told me upfront, honestly, it's two of you, another white guy, but your paper, your proposal is the best. In other words, I will be managing 10 schools, recruiting mentors and sending them there and managing the whole process. And they told me, honestly, we still have to look out for the white counterparts, but I must tell you, we have never seen any proposal like that ever. They said, give us 2 weeks, we need to make a decision and all of that. Of course, tell me what happened. Of course, somebody shout it out, tell me what happened. Of course, like talk to me. Like talk to me, of course. What happens within the 2 weeks? What happens after 2 weeks? Somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me.
And somebody had a better proposal.
What was that? Go ahead. Somebody tell me what happened.
They gave the white person.
Which white person? Stop the blows and
You got the
you hear me?
position,
Look, you know what? Leave the session. Leave the session and don't come back. No, you know, hear the story. I cannot believe this. After me build up the storyline for you and all of that, you came away with give us blows transparent. Why? What? You know what? I'm going to find you. I'm going to check the recording and see who spoke a while ago, and you're going to have to pay for my damaging my brand a while ago. So of course I got the job. They called me. Honestly, we have to give you. The proposal is just really good. And literally, I managed that mentoring process for the year plus until I was there, because I was in the UK for 2 years studying, doing the 2 masters. And again, I did 2 masters, again, to improve my brand. Just don't come back here with 1 master's. A little bit of something extra is always good. Again, I managed it so well. All the schools wanted me to be their personal mentor at their school. And I'm saying, no, I can't be the personal. I still have my original school and I'm managing the persons. And then at the end, there was a mentoring award. I was chosen as the mentor of the year. And they wrote me a letter saying that anytime you ever come back to Leeds, you always have a job with us. So the point I'm saying, please do not underestimate, that's why I spent some time with point number 15, the power of volunteerism. Volunteer can get you noticed. So don't always start with money. Sometimes money is the cheapest thing ever. Who you are should transcend money. And then after you're so darn good with your brand, people naturally will pay you. The money must follow. All right? So point number 16, be driven. Become the best version of yourself without failure or concern about what other people think that you're uppity and all of that. Just build your brand. Make sure you have your business card. Develop a presence. Develop a presence and become a person of depth, not just a surface person. When people interact with you, they want more. They want more of you, want more to talk to you, want to interact with you, and have to tell somebody about you, of their interaction with you. So don't just be a surface person. I'm sure some of you have talked to a person before and you're like, oh gosh, seriously? Surface? Are you otherwise boring? Oh God, seriously? What was that about? Become a person of depth. And as I said before, 20th, very important, work for passion over pay, meaning before money. If you're darn good and your brand is right, please note, all of you, you are equivalent and beyond of that X6 that we started to talk about. That's who you are, so you don't allow a person to lean on the brand, because you communicate to people this, don't touch this, as MC Hammer used to say, or probably still says. Don't touch this brand, don't just come over here. This is unique. It is priceless. It is beyond money. It is, I have depth. So this is what I'm talking about. Get noticed, and this is just a shopping list. It's not exhaustive, so you can build more to that. And the slogan is,
I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive. I network to increase my network.
So you are a world-class brand, everybody. I certainly am. Please tell yourself that mentally, as well as say it until you mean it. You have something to give. You're doing a degree, so you can't say, you know, I have nothing. You have a smile, you have a head, you have a brain, you have so much. And if you start looking at your skill set, you will realize you're good at many things. You probably have not been noticing it and giving yourself credit for it. You have something to give. And please note, in this universe, if you give, you must receive. It's actually a spiritual principle. For the people in the room who are Christians or you're on a spiritual path, you know this. Give and finish this line, people. Finish this line. Give and you shall
receive.
Receive. To receive. So please note, it's a natural thing. But please note, do not give to receive. Do you understand the distinction with that one? Don't give to receive. Do you understand that? Somebody?
Yes, sir.
So you don't do it, okay, I'm going to do this. Go ahead. Somebody asking a question. Jump in. Someone's asking a question? Okay, I thought it was a question. So don't just give to receive. That's a different level. You give knowing that on a spiritual path that we're talking about, there's no way you can give in this universe and not receive. Please note the fact that you give Oswego something may not be, I am the person you're going to get it back from. The universe is so set up in such a way that if you give, paths are created and avenues are created to give you back that which you give. It's a it is like exact like any mathematical equation. And therefore you network in an environment, and within that network, you increase your net worth, which is the monetary part. So networking. So networking, what is this networking? Networking. Networking is a process of leveraging tacit knowledge. And when I say tacit knowledge, I'm talking about knowledge that you have in your head, right? Your know-how, expertise, social capital, influence, and power, which otherwise would not be available to you. Let's look at that again. Networking is the process, everything in between, the input, the process, and the output, everything of leveraging, that should be leveraging tacit knowledge, know-how, expertise, social capital, influence, and power, which otherwise would not have been available to you. It is not what, anybody has ever heard the term, is not what you know, is who you know? Anybody has ever heard that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Really, another word for that is networking. But the flip side is also true. Is not what you know, is who you know. So sometimes the flip side. So it's not, sometimes, anybody has ever seen that is not who you know, sometimes it's really what you know. Anybody, you're bright until you're fool and you just couldn't cross the line. You're bright, you have everything when I say you just couldn't cross it. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? Talk to me, people. Somebody talk to me. Anybody has ever heard the opposite or experienced the opposite, which is not what you know. You have the degree, you have all the features of what the people said, and they just wouldn't give it to you. Sometimes it's not who you know, it's what you know. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. Both of them are targeting networking. You don't need to know everything in the world, people. You just need to know many people who know many things. Everybody saw that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Moreover,
Yes, sir.
you cannot know
Yes, sir.
everything. You cannot know everything. You don't have the time for it. You're doing just one degree. However, at this level, networking, you need to know at least one doctor. You need to know one lawyer. You need to know one judge. You need to know one lecturer that at least connect with one before you leave, who can give you a recommendation, because you may just get a job 2 days time and they say they want a recommendation. That lecturer who will give it, make the time for you and all of that, make one call and get it. So you need to know at least one person in each category, and I mention it further down. So you don't need to know everybody and everything. You just need to know many people who know many things and can usher you into what you want. So if you're into accounting, you need to know some accountants who will show you the work of art and the workmanship and workshop and network, and will help you and tell people about your potential and all of that. In Jamaica, we call it links, which is a part of networking from a broader angle. So there's this concept, people, that I want you to learn of 6 degrees of separation. The concept says that you are separated by anything you want by 6 persons. Anybody has ever heard it before?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, let us look at this. And part of it, what you get from this is social capital. Because of your network, you get social capital. Look at the words, social capital. So social is about the interaction and the people you know. That is a social bit, a bit of sociology. Capital is anything that can be converted into money or is money, which is a set of benefits derived from your networks. So 6 degrees of separation says that you can reach anybody in the world by the time you reach to 6 influential people in your network. Say I want to reach the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Somebody ask me, how would you reach the Prime Minister? Somebody ask me.
How would you get to the Prime Minister, sir?
Thank you very much. All right, hear this. And we're going to count the person. So I am one person. So I need to find a person. Let us count one more person. So I'm not going to start with me. One person. I know my partner teaches at a school where his children go to. She's the teacher. Are you seeing where we're going?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
She could then ask the principal to connect with the Prime Minister. Are you seeing? The principal. The principal may need to ask the board member that she's very close to. The board member will ask the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, I don't even reach 6, I reach 5. Because when some people call you, like Miss Davis, Lena Davis is in the room, I know her very well. If she calls me and asks me to go and do a workshop for her, I am not going to say no because I know her. If Mr. Maurice Cahoon asks me to go and represent him tomorrow at 6 a.m. to a presentation he wanted, I would go because I know him. If Matthew Francis asked me, go and do it because I know them. But if you just randomly send me an email to come and do a presentation, I am not going to make the same effort to do it. Everybody see where I'm going? Why we're talking social capital. You get capital and leverage out of the social network. And therefore the concept of 6 degrees of separation. So if you need to reach Donald Trump, anybody wants to reach Donald Trump, you need to talk to Donald Trump. You need to talk to Donald Trump. Anybody? You just want to have a lunch, dinner. Anybody?
No,
We're not
sir.
going to discriminate.
No.
Yes, sir.
Stop the blows and skirt foolishness. Donald Trump can get you to many, many persons. Okay? Don't be fooled by the narrative and all of that. He knows a lot of persons. But you may not want to because some networks may get you in trouble maybe and people may isolate themselves. Did you know that on a resume, the section that you put references, you have to be careful whose name you put there because he can get to the job or not get to the job? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Exactly, which
Yes,
is about social. You could lose some money, lose time, energy because of the network you're a part of it. So I'm not going to paint it all as positive only. It could make you, because the person, I am not calling Oswego because I don't like him, I don't want to talk to him. Or if you put Oswego as your referee, then therefore you must be good. And I want to talk to Mr. Gale. He did a workshop for us 4 years ago. Okay, you already get the job because if he says you're good, I probably don't need to go and do a big deal of interview for you. So it is 6 degrees of separation. The concept that you can reach anybody in the world by the time you reach 6 persons, but if you know how to do it. And these are connections that if you want to reach Donald Trump, then there is somebody you know or your parents know who works at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who will talk to the Prime Minister, talk to somebody who you get to by 6 degrees of separation. So networking. So what do you get from networking and networks? Priceless information, remember, leverage that you would not have gotten before. When I operated my business a few years ago, there were information that I got that people would not have gotten, but I got it from my other restaurateurs. They just give me the information. Other people had to spend time and go and find it and go do the hard research. But I just got it because I know them, but they wouldn't just tell you because they don't know you. And people are more positive towards the people they know. Savings, any form of money you can save as a result of your networking, then it's also called, it's a part of social capital. So for example, somebody gave a slight touch on my vehicle some time ago, about last year, just a slight touch. When I went to the place, people, I cannot tell you how much money the people said to fix the vehicle. Well, let me give you, because it wasn't even real. The person were just trying to overcharge and telling me, thinking I'm not technical and I wouldn't find anybody. The person told me to fix all of that. I would have to change everything in the inside and all of that. Could somebody repeat the slogan that is not on here when I tell you? Or could somebody agree that when I tell you the price, you will say the slogan without it being on screen? Could somebody identify when I tell you, you will say, go. Identify yourself. A volunteer.
Tavia, sir.
Tavia, when I went to do the assessment at the dealer, the people said $570,000 to fix the little part of the vehicle. Please say the slogan. And the slogan is?
I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive. I network to increase my net worth.
Would you be annoyed and couldn't sleep the night before somebody hit your car and the people tell you it's $570,000 to fix it? Like seriously, would you be able to sleep the night? $570,000? I know you're all wealthy, but would you would you want to give up your wealth like that? Would you be concerned?
No, sir, but that is ridiculous.
All right, listen to this now. My network, a lecturer colleague of mine saw and said, oh, who touched your vehicle right here? And I was telling him, and I said, I'm going to have to go. Here's the assessment. And he looked at it and I said, $570,000. You must be mad. Stop your foolishness. No way. No way. No. I am going to take you down to my dealer people because the same people who work over there come over here in the evening where I went down there, Tavia. I spent $200,000 in parts and labor and all of that. Do you see when I say savings, what I mean by that? I would have probably had to pay so much money. Do you see what I mean when I say savings?
Yes, sir.
So anything that you save, please note, Tavia or anybody, Miss Davis, Matthew, if somebody buys you lunch, if I take you out to lunch and I pay for lunch, even though I don't give you and I purchase a lunch for $2,000, would you agree that I have given you $2,000 even though I don't put the $2,000 in your hand? The fact that I bought you the lunch and the lunch was a $2,500, I gave you $2,500. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Anybody agrees or disagree? Everybody see where I'm going?
I agree, sir.
Go ahead.
We're saying I agree.
Exactly. Even though I don't give you, because if you had to buy lunch for yourself, you would have had to buy the $2,500. You would have had to expend that money. But you got the lunch courtesy of me. And if you had said, don't buy me lunch, I want the money to do other things. For example, when I'm giving people birthday things, I always said to them, do you want the money or you want the thing that I was going to buy? Because sometimes people will appreciate the money because they could have used it to do so many other things rather than give them something they may not appreciate. Or I don't want a book, give me the money, I can buy gas and all of that. Everybody see where I'm going?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you get the savings from that. So any money, anything that you save as a result of a friend tell you, give you the information and the inside loops, and you would have expend all of that and save, but you would not have gotten it outside of the network, because if I went down to the people, they would not just talk to me, and they would not only that people, I got a discount from the $250. I actually got a discount. I wouldn't have gotten a discount outside of my network. So it is a foot in the front door to get in, and then you can build your way using your brand. It is leverage. It is savings. It is opportunities as well. By knowing so many persons, when I was doing my business, well, I still have the business, but when I was doing the restaurant business in particular, I got places to deliver because of my network. People know me and say, oh, come and start delivering food to my company and all of that. Because I know somebody, they say, come and do a workshop here. Opportunities because of people I know. So I rarely have to advertise personally because people always call me to do workshops and all of that. So if you start a business, everybody in your network, people, for those who will do entrepreneurship, and please don't leave UTech thinking because you did medical technology, because you did accounting, because you did computing or engineering or hospitality, then you must go into that field. Please note you did entrepreneurship as a module, and you can convert that into a business. So all the people you know are already your potential customers. Continuing with the examples. So a lecturer we were doing a function on the campus year before last, and because of our networking and organization, I think it was Spacey or Grace, one of those, she was able to get 6 baskets, but each of those baskets have a value of about $8,000. So 5 is $40,000 we got in basket equivalent if we had to buy the same thing, all because she has a network into that particular organization. So all of that, it saved the school $40,000, the courtesy of networks. The head of school got Danny Roberts to do the function. I never knew Danny Roberts personally, but no, I do because of the network and the link. I would not have met him, talked to him, all of that. Mortgage, even if you go, a member of a board knows you and tell you, okay, talk to them and all of that. So banking is the same thing. When I was doing a business, I get to go into the bank at hours that regular people wouldn't. Networking, who you know, all of that. You get money. You get more time to pay goods. You get discount, valuable information, expert advice, and cutting-edge technology and information. This is how Mark Zuckerberg sees it in terms of networking. People influence people. Nothing influences people more than a recommendation from a trusted friend. A trusted referral influences people more than the best broadcast message. A trusted referral is the holy grail of advertising. Even though it takes from the advertising, remember, you would have advertised your brand. when somebody says, Oswego is coming to do a presentation, the people don't bother to stress me because they know who I am. So I cut down all of that troubleshooting as to, what if he's good? What if he's gonna do? And all of that. It could even get you paid more because you know somebody. So getting noticed leads to social capital. Social capital leads to influence. Influence leads to power. And you know power leads to other things. And you already know this. Fill in the blank for this one. Knowledge is?
Power.
Power.
Exactly. If you have knowledge, you can use it in many different ways. So what the question therefore is, what do you have to offer? Remember, it is an exchange. So the things that I mentioned in your brand are the things that you will offer to people. So the way forward then is, please increase your network. How do you do this? Your alumni, if you went to KC, for example, and you're here, please note the KC Old Boys is one of the strongest networks. They know so many people who know so many people who know so many people. And if you know KC people, they have this internal networking thing that none of their friends and all of that should be out of a job. So they're going to talk to people. LinkedIn is also a very important source as well. When you go to a conference, don't just stay by yourself, meet people. Make sure, volunteer, I spoke about volunteering already. Social capital, student organizations, whether it is marketing and all the ones that are on campus, you know people, you're gonna see these people working again, and business connections. And I also, and this part that is in blue right here, I really want you to do it as an assignment of yours. I want you to make a comprehensive list of all the influential people you know, starting from family, friends, neighbors, classmates, lecturers, professors, present and former. And I want you to look and see what could you give them, what do you have to give them, and what potentially could you receive from them, because chances are you know so many people you have discounted and you don't know who they know. You don't even know what position they hold and that they know the CEO of X and all of that. So this is the way forward. And when you go out, and again, especially volunteerism is a powerful tool to get you to know so many people and to get you as a way inside any door. And the slogan is,
I am a world-class brand. I have something to give and receive. I network to increase my net worth.
So I want to communicate to you to start telling yourself you are a world-class brand. Please note, it is your responsibility to communicate to the world your brand, who you are, by the way you look, the way you sound, the way you articulate, the way you dress, your smile, the way you comb your hair, the way you walk. All of that is a brand. These features communicate and have an emotional impact on people, positively and negatively. So be careful. And given that you have identified all of your strengths and weaknesses, and you can mitigate the weaknesses and build on them and promote your strengths and build them even further, you always have something to give. And as I told you before, if you give, you must receive. It is a spiritual equation. And even outside of that, if you're not into no religious or spiritual thing, literally if you give, you're more likely to receive anyway. And therefore, when you look at all your networks and the people you know, and make sure you know a lecturer before you go, make sure you know one doctor, one lawyer, one of these persons, because they can get you through doors that you would not have gone to. Okay, you're not going to just go by accident and emergency and just show up if you don't know somebody or you can't pay your way and all of that. And therefore, networks sometimes are way more powerful than any money. And if it's evenly, not only the discount, but the price could go down, or you get time to pay the same thing that other people will have heartache in the night trying to come up with that $570,000 or more. But with you, because you know somebody and your networks are strong, then it is increased and you increase network. And I don't want you to, net worth rather, I don't want you to only see net worth as only money that somebody give you money in your hand. But remember, if I sponsor you a ticket to the US, please note, you went to the US, but the money, I paid it. And that's a part of your network as well. So this is what we're talking about when we say networking. Make your brand count, get noticed, and it is your responsibility to make sure your brand is appealing and it communicates an appeal that is irresistible. People have to call you. And if they don't, you will know that that project will probably just not for you. So thank you very much for having me. Please talk to me if you have questions. I would love to take them right now. Go brands, top brands, talk to me. Okay, everything I said was crystal clear then.
Sergey, Adrian here.
Yes, Adrian, go. Just a second, let's take Adrian's point, and then I go to the second person who was talking. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, just net worth. Could you just explain that a bit more? I think you just kind of touched on it. Can you just, explain on it?
Yes, because I have one. Oh, all right. So net worth or network? Net worth is what I'm hearing from here.
Worth.
Net worth is the cumulative total of all the things you own tangibly, and intangibly. So literally, did you know that even artwork, design, that's why people do patents, and that's why people do trademarks, and that's why people do copyright? Did you know that?
No.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Even so, when I say, thanks for the question, Adrian, for broadening out. Adrian, I would have loved if you to be able to even see your face, but I think people can know. And that's why I wanted to communicate features. So even your features, yeah, I'm seeing you, Adrian. Adrian, your features, right how you look right now, thanks for showing, can be a symbol of wealth. Do you know that you can't just get Beyonce to just come to Jamaica like that? You have to pay money before you even talk to the thing. You have to pay down some money to even get her to consider the concert coming to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Adrian?
I don't know all that.
Yes, I'm telling you. So actually, even the name Adrian. All right, look at Louis Vuitton. Don't you realize the name has translated into a product, and on brand, and therefore, any of you misuse Louis Vuitton, you could end up in court and have to pay money for misusing the way you sounded. I wanted Adrian Blackwood is actually a brand, both the way you look. So look at it. All right, let us look at, you know Usain Bolt's to the world side. Do you realize that in and of itself brings him money? Anywhere that sign is his, and he gets money from that. He doesn't show up yet, you know. If Usain Bolt shows up to the function, just walk around the track, he's paid. Just himself, you know, just Usain Bolt, he don't need to run. Just walk around the field, because his name make all 20,000 more people come to the function. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I get you.
So anything that translates into money, net worth. So right now, your net worth, Adrian, you can calculate it to see how much you are worth, tangibly speaking. You know, by extension, your prices. You know that part, right, Adrian? Your prices. We can't put a price on you. You transcend money, right?
Right.
But for these earthly people, they're like, money is a currency. Networking is a currency. Social capital is a currency. Networking is a currency. So therefore, Adrian, you literally can write down every piece of clothes you have and put a price to it. If you had to sell it, put a price on your knowledge. It could be how much you pay for the degree so far, because you soon have to make back that money. Your name could become so popular that in and of itself, the artwork for it communicates. So anywhere you see Adrian Blackwood spelled a certain way, I must get $50,000 for just sponsoring the event. Just put Adrian Blackwood here, and the sign alone, you don't need to be there, the sign. So anything, your car, your house, everything, the monetary value for it, those are the tangible things. But your name, your image, your smile can simply be also a tangible thing, your education. And that's what people also pay for. So when you look at all of that, that's what I'm saying. Your net worth is the cumulative total of all the monetary value of your tangible things that you own and the intangible, like your smile. We can lift up your smile and give it to somebody. But the smile, the way you smile, the way you hold your head, the way how you do this, the way how we do this to the world, it communicates something, or your name or anything like that can be a brand. And that's why you put a copyright on things. So for example, when you also write a book, please write a book, Adrian. Anywhere Adrian Blackwood name on it, the book is yours, and nobody should misquote you or use the work, because the work, if you use this, you may have to pay for it. The same thing, I am a recording artist. My song, if you use my song in anything in a movie, you need to pay me. So the song is an intangible, anything that I get from it. Have I fully explained?
Yeah, I got you. So like I have my book now, so like I have my book out now, right?
Yes.
I would price that?
The price of the book, that's one. Two, make sure you have registered the book at the Copyright Office so you can actually get money from it. So for example, I get a yearly money check from the book that I have out. By virtue of putting it in all the libraries, and it's at the Jamaica Copyright Office. So people who use a book need to pay for the right to use it. Because it's my work. I sat down for years and put this work, those words. You don't have to like it, Adrian. The other person, Kadeem, don't have to like it. Candice don't have to like it. But the fact still remains, you can't take it away from me that I sat down, I came up with these words out of my head. They are my words. I put the book together. I had a launch, and people are buying the book. They are my words. So don't put it and make it look like is Shantae say. No, Shantae is not you made that paragraph. It was Oswigale's paragraph, and anywhere you see it, because people can benefit from the words you say, it can be invisible, the word. Because people just love this quote. Same thing, people are using quotes by Oprah, quoting from that, to make a part of their appeal. And that's why you don't just use it, because you're using Adrian's work to benefit your party. You're using my name because you know once you say Blackwood, Adrian Blackwood will be there, you know what people are going to come. So you're benefiting from him, you need to pay him. That's about tagline, that's about copyright, that's also about image and branding. So that's why you can't just use, people make a big deal out of the brand. The McDonald's sign that was the one that was there, they had to leave and take it down because it was competing with the other McDonald's, the M look-alike. And it's an original brand, so you have to take down one. No, that M, they look too much like, because it is confusing people about the brand. That's why I asked you, and X6 has features. This is Adrian, AB, this is the brand. It looks different from us. So if I start walking around looking like you and I benefit from your image, that is copyright issues, illegal, coming to court. And therefore, if you win a court case and you get money from it, that's a part of benefiting from your work as well.
Okay, yep. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. There was another question. But you can hang on if you want further details, Adrian, that we can talk one-on-one if the platform and time allows. All right, there was somebody else that I promised to come back to. Excellent question, Adrian. Excellent.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask one question.
Go.
What is the best approach to networking? I understand the 6-person separation.
Yes.
But when you're going to a person to build a relationship in order to build your network, what's the best approach that you would use?
All right. Again, let me take it from this angle. First and foremost, there is no one best way, because it starts with your brand and people will like you for different things. Some people will like to talk to me because I do very well at motivational speaking engagement, but they will not call me for another project. So the entry point is starting with your brand and what you're good at. Are you seeing where I'm going?
Yes.
Are you seeing where I'm going? So start to look at, write down all the features about you that makes you different. Tell me who's talking, because I'm not looking at it. Tell me the name.
Lillian.
Lillian. Lillian, you are a unique brand. There are many things about you that I don't have, and vice versa. And therefore, it could be the way you look, the way you smile. It could be the way you organize a function. And therefore, you have some entry points. So it depends on where you're going. You may have to use that particular approach. So, for example, What is your field? Tell me your field of study. Lillian, tell me your field of study.
Marketing.
Marketing. If there's a marketing association of Jamaica, for example, if they're marketing people, marketing association of Jamaica, if they have a student chapter, join it. One. If you have any company doing any marketing function, start volunteering to help people with their marketing so they start to know you. Are you seeing why I'm saying there's no one best way, but rather a combination of approaches based on who you are?
Yes, sir.
So for you now, if there's a marketing association of Jamaica, find it out, join the student chapter. If they have conferences, make sure you go and volunteer to be a part of it so you can get in and you start to know the who is who and all of that. If there is a segment of like a question and answer like this segment, for example, right now, it doesn't matter what happened right now, I will never forget Adrian Campbell, and I will never forget your name, which is Lillian, you said? Lillian? Lillian. I will never forget it because I will remember these are the two persons who asked me questions at the network. So anywhere I see this name, I'm going to say, that sounds like, I wonder if it's a person who I made an emotional connection immediately. Adrian Edwards, wasn't that the young man who asked me a question? And that is Lillian who asked me a question. So already you have an entry point. So just like how you asked me, don't know that you asked me a question. If you see me on the campus, it makes it easier to just come up and talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So already you have ticked off one of the box because the entry point for you would be, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Gill. I am Lillian. I was the one who asked the question. Immediately, I can't say no. We had a conversation and then, oh, you are that one. And we already have a commonality. We have spoken before. Same thing with Adrian. If Adrian stops me anywhere and say, oh, Mr. Gill, I say, good morning. Oh, I am Adrian. I was the one who asked the question about that. Same thing. We already have a point of contact to talk about. So if you go to a conference, Lillian, then make sure you talk. And this is why I said, make sure people remember you, because you always have something to say. Also, make sure you look nice, not overdressed or all of that, but your features, make sure you do it. So the voluntary institution, you could volunteer. If there's a marketing association, join their student chapter. Ask your lecturers also about marketing, because some of them are into marketing. Ask them, any project you're going to be working on or any marketing, may I be a part of that? I just want to be a part of it, and you get your foot in the door. So it becomes easier to talk to people because they know your name, they remember you, and it's easier to know. It just becomes so much easier because you know my name. I don't have to go through all, why is this girl stopping me? Why is Lillian so? Why are they talking? Immediately, I remember you asked me, and people, everybody likes to feel important. Most people, let me say most. And therefore, especially when you know people's name and you remember a point of contact. So something like you'd have talked to me. Let me ask you, Lillian, say you enjoyed this presentation. You really enjoy. Are you hearing what I'm saying, Lillian?
Yes, sir, I'm hearing you.
Say you really enjoy. Don't patronize me and see me, Mr. Gill. Don't you know sometimes when people are just overly off the top is not true? Don't you know? Don't you kind of can pick up sometimes?
Yes, because it's not being genuine.
Yeah, it's not being genuine, and we started not trust you already. So you wouldn't see me and say, Mr. Gill, oh, if you really did not enjoy it, oh, I really, especially when everybody knew the presentation of the person was very boring, and you said it was so interesting. I learned so much. I just all over the person. Oh my God, it was so good. Liar, wicked, blouse and skirt. It's not true. Which is a different thing from you genuinely enjoyed today's presentation with me. You like how I package it, delivered, how engaging it was, or however you see. That is already an entry point into talking to me. Are you seeing where I'm going?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Exactly, because you have a point of contact. You could talk to me, find a point of contact. You could talk to me about the person, that example that they use in terms of mine. Let me use mine to get to where you may want to go. The example I use with the X6, if that connected with you, use the thing that connected with you, because immediately it will connect to me as well, because there's a reason why I used it. Are you seeing where we're going? The moment you bring up that example, there's no doubt that you were there. And I connect with the X6, and you use the example that I use, and you tell me that you really like the example, and by extension, it meant something to you, and you found it interesting and all of that. No, and then you are able to ask me, are there any marketing things that you're aware of? Immediately, Lillian, I know, can look in my database and ask, is there any marketing person? No, and immediately I usher and I talk to you a little bit more and all of that. And I like what you were saying as well, and I will tell him, yeah man, it's a student of UTech and all of that. And the door start to open from another angle. Now you need to take it home and make sure you prove yourself and all of that. I might not be able to say you're good and wow and all of that, but the very fact that I could say, no man, give her a chance, man. She's a UTech student. I interacted with her, and you remember I spoke about emotional connection?
Yes, sir.
The fact that I can tell my colleague or whoever, the 5 minutes that I spent, I really like what I saw. She comes across, because sometimes you don't need to know the depth. She comes across as a really nice person. I think you should give her a chance. Sometimes, or just invite her for an interview. Sometimes that's all it takes, and then you go and do the next 95%. Because sometimes 1% is very powerful. Just that link. Same thing, but you'd have had some that's giving you different entry points that you can ask. And sometimes you can ask people right up front to just mentor you if you think mentoring is an avenue. So mentorship, I didn't mention it there, but it is one as well. And most people who want to share knowledge and have reached a certain level in your life are willing to share and would make it easier for you. You know those uncomfortable situations where you're trying to meet personally, you're not sure how to approach them, and you're wondering, should I just go up and say good morning? Watch how the person would react. But I don't know them. Should I just say good morning? All of that. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? You want to reach somebody influential, and it's very awkward to just go up and talk. What do you say? How do you say that?
Yes,
Everybody, you may have to start developing the skill and technique where there's only two answers in life. There's only yes or no. And start coming with a little bit more emotionally intelligent. In other words, if somebody says no, don't link it to your personal brand or personal self-esteem. It's just no. And that's okay too. Everybody see where I'm going with this?
Excuse me, sir?
Yes, taking your point. There's only two answers in life, no matter how it seems. If you come up to me and say, Mr. Gill, mentor me, I'm got two answers I can give you. No. Yes or no. If I say maybe, it's close to no. If I say maybe, it's hesitancy. So the people who tell you yes, no, or connect, or I can't do it right now, give me a next month, or I'm going to let you talk to my assistant, or come to the sober office, or take it from there. I have a book can give you, or I'm going to put you on. I can't do it right now, but I have a colleague who's working on a project because you would not have known. You see where I'm going? Did I answer your question?
Sir?
Lillian?
Yes, you
Lillian?
did, sir.
Okay, great. The next person.
Sir?
Yes, go. Identify yourself.
Tavia, sir. Tavia Evans.
Go, Tavia.
Could you tell me the name of your book, please?
My Words, a collection of poems. Let me say it slowly. My Words, a collection of poems on life, love, and new thought. Let me see if I have a copy very close by. It should be somewhere right here. It's very close, but I don't necessarily want to move. Yes, so My Words, did you get that, Tavia? My Words, a collection of poems on love, life, and new thought. It is online and offline as well.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yes, and please feel free to go write books, people. You don't have to finish a degree. The world has changed significantly. So you can start your own blogs, because remember, everything starts with one. One person come in, then it starts. So you can start a blog from any angle that you are studying. Marketing blog, communication blog, computing blog, architecture blog, production and operations blog, and talk about things that are topical, and people will also see you and you can get notice from that. So that's also part of it. But remember, this is a 1 hour presentation. I couldn't pull everything that could possibly package. I had to just package it the best way possible to fit the time. Yep. Any other question? Any other question for me?
Yes, sir.
Jump in. Just identify yourself.
Hello, sir. I'm Shanicia Gamel.
Shanicia Gamel?
Yes, sir. I'm
yes,
in
Shanicia.
course doing applied sciences. So,
yes.
For example, you are not aware of what your total brand is as yet. Are there any tips that you can give us on how to build our personal brands or how we can make connections with people to, as you say, let them remember us?
All right. So I gave you some techniques that you can remember you. Okay, I'm looking. Okay, you're actually right here. Okay, I didn't realize that your picture is up now. All right, so let me take the first part first. You wanted some, what if you're not sure about your brand as yet? Yes? Let me take that part first, all right? It's Shanice from FOSS I'm talking to. The person, Daniel, is a different person, correct?
Yes, sir, that is a different person.
Okay, I just want to, because I almost thought Daniel's picture was remind me of your name, that is
Shanicia Gamel. Shanicia.
Shanicia Gamel. All right, Shanicia, one of the first thing, have you ever heard that thing that was said, you must know yourself? The first rule of life, when I finish that book, will be know yourself. You see, a person who don't know themselves is going to have some struggles in life because it's difficult to develop the brand because you don't even know what you're developing. What are some entry points into knowing your brand and knowing what you came here to do? Here are some entry point questions that you can answer, and you get the answers to this will help you start to frame, really, who are you? Let's just take it. What are the things that you find interesting? So for example, for me, that's why I put it up there. It wasn't just overconfidence or anything. There's a reason why I put up all the things that I do, because anybody who connects with that is an entry point. If you do poetry, that's the angle you'll take it from. If you do music, then you and I can talk. If you are a motivational speaker as well, and when you, let's also talk about, when you talk to people, here's another question. What do people come to you for? Are you hearing me, Shanicia?
It's Shanicia with an N, sir.
Shanicia, right? Shanicia.
Yes, sir.
Shanicia, what do people come to you for? You find that people always come to you. That's a part of your brand. So for example, for me, Shanicia, it doesn't matter where I go in the world. If I just stand up right here, minding my own business, somebody always just comes up to me and start talking to me about their problems. And I have to be asking myself, is there something written down on the back of my shirt or on the front here, say, please talk to me? Anybody has ever happened to you? Anybody that's ever happened to?
Yes,
you just
sir.
find all your friends them come to you with their problem. You never ask them. You're thinking, okay, this is just limited to family and friends. You go out and just stand up and people just pour out their life in front of you. There is something about you, whether it is in your face, that they just feel safe. Something about your energy that connects with people that you're not going to tell nobody about their business, and you are good at listening. So listening can be a part of your brand. You listen, number one. Two, what are the things that you find interesting? For me, as I was saying, that was the first question. Poetry, music, teaching, motivating people, organize a function. When you, for example, if you saw my book launch, everybody's asking me, what are you going to do for the next book launch? Because I put everything in it. So people will ask me, come and help me to do my book launch, or you have any ideas? So that's an entry point into using the things that you're really good at. Here's a third question to ask. What do you really came on the planet to give? Notice in the slogan, I have something to give and to receive. I feel like if I don't teach, I will die. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? Find the things in life that, or here's another entry point to take it from. Shanicia.
Yes, sir.
Say you had the last hour on the planet to live, right? One last hour. After the last hour, you will disappear. Nobody will ever see you again. What would you do with the last hour? What are the things you would do? Or at least boil it down to one thing. What is the one thing you would do? And I want it in a context where people will be looking on and all of that. After that, You give your last 1 hour and you disappear. Let me tell you mine first, and then you try come up with yours. So for all the things that I do, people, I am a poet, I'm an entrepreneur, I motivate people, I sing, I teach. But and I love organizing things. Those are 6 main things. I do many other things, but those are my 6 strongest. Ask me, Shanicia, of all those 6 things, Gamel, ask me which one would you spend the last hour doing? Ask me.
Sir, what would you spend your last hour on earth doing?
I would do, well, add it to 7. I would spend the last hour, I would sing you my last song. I would put on a performance for you. After that, me can disappear. But I want you to remember me giving the last song. I would set it up and I would play all my songs in that 1 hour. And after that, and I would feel happy that I disappear after that. It would be the singing. I love teaching, but it wouldn't be the teaching. I love motivating people, but I would want you to remember me saying, stop playing with my heart, you're sticking me with a dart. It's like I'm dreaming with dancing people. I would want you to remember that, and its moment is holding me hostage. And I would want you to remember, stop playing with my heart. And the people come, yeah, oh yeah, my bestest brand, yeah, I'm world class, yeah, I give and I receive, music. After that I disappear, I'll be the happiest person disappearing ever. That's what would make me come alive. Are you seeing where I'm going?
Yes, sir.
So if you want entry point as to what is your brand, so music for me is a part of my brand. If I don't, or here's from another angle, here's a 4th way to look at it. What are the things that if you don't do, you're really annoyed? If you don't do them, if I don't sing, if I don't teach, if I don't motivate people, and I don't organize things, and I don't do poetry, I get annoyed. I get annoyed. I have to do these things. I came here to give. I have to do these things. I have to. So you could take it from what do people come to you for and use that. So I know people always come to me with their issue. And then when I motivate people, they seem to like it. And for years now, more than 20 years now, people are always calling me, come give a talk here, come give a talk, come give a talk. And I realize, okay, clearly they like when I give a talk to people. So they pay me to do it and all of that. So those are some entry points into discovering the brand and who you are. And as those are some simple, some core ones. And then you can take it out now. Do you have a striking presence? So for example, for me, anywhere I get noticed. I have no idea why. Once I go, oh, people just see me. Usually I'm a very confident person, by the way. Whenever I just stand up, I stand up confidently. Sometimes people think I'm overconfident. I understand it, I'm doing nothing. And people, whoa, confidence will recognize other confidence. And people are appealing, find confidence appealing as well. It is magical. So you can take from confidence part of view, or any of the other points of view that I looked at, and then you can now do the voluntarism as other parts. Whatever you're good at, now that you know what those are, answer those questions, you can volunteer it from that angle. And you say you're doing FOSS and your degree is?
I study forensics, sir, Natural Applied Sciences.
Forensic?
Yes, sir.
So any organization in Jamaica that does forensic, you need to be there volunteering. Anyone. Check if they have any conference. So start to look through the world, if that is your passion, or even if it's not, because sometimes you can just start and your passion develop all. We are all different, so it may not come up for you today, tomorrow, all of that. You could start here, and then by doing it, you start to really love this, and then other doors open. So if there is a forensic lab anywhere, or if they have any conference anywhere, and just go to the conference. Go to the conference, ask questions, be a part, ask them when's the next conference, ask them when you can organize the next conference. Can you come by the lab? Find some parts that you do and say, can you come and help them with any research? Here's another thing too, you can take it from the other angle. If they're doing any research, be a part of their research. Are you seeing where we're going?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Yeah. Did I answer your question, Shanicia Gamel from
Yes, you did.
Yes. All right. Next person. Is it Daniel? You just want to see my brand, or you just want me to see your brand, Daniel?
No, sir. I'm just like, you said to, like, you want to see people when I ask a question.
Okay.
I'm like,
okay,
so,
great.
hi, I'm from Hills. Sir, you were mentioning ways in which you could, like, you know, connect with people. I'd like you to expound on more ways. Please say you could join clubs. What else could you do?
Yes, so I mentioned club. I mentioned clubs. I mentioned volunteerism. I mentioned, ask the question again. You wanted to find out the ways in which you can build it.
Yes, more ways, sir. So you said clubs, volunteerism. I would need some other ways. What else could we do to and build on it?
To build a network?
Yes, sir.
The biggest way is, as I tell you, the biggest one I want person to focus on is to write down, make the list of all the key people you know, and write what you can give and what you can get from it. That is the entry point, because you're going to realize that there's so many people you know that you were even overlooking, because all the lecturers teach you. Some of them, especially, for example, any lecturer, especially lecturers like when students get A. If you see a lecturer start to say, "Wow, you're really good at this," that's an entry point into it. Are you seeing where I'm going, Daniel?
Yes, sir.
So any of your modules where you're really good at and you're advanced, and the lecturer say, "You really have a knack for this," that's an entry point into networking. So that's a lecturer to keep by closely, to start talking to, because they can look out for you. If there's curriculum, if it is curriculum development, they know other people who do curriculum all over the world, locally, and other universities can connect you to. So I mentioned the research already, but as I said, the biggest one is for you to make a list of all the people you know and what they do and how you could support them and how they could support you. That's literally an assignment. The other thing is, as I said, if there's any form of student chapter, so you don't start teaching yet. Have you done your teaching practice yet?
No, sir. I'm not a teacher. I'm a communication arts and technology student. So
okay, so it's communication arts. So you are in technology and you're the communications people? Communications, yes, right? Journalism or the photography part?
Advertising, a little bit of photography, sir.
Yeah, so a bit of photography and advertising. So any top, identify, for example, the top photographers in Jamaica, like the top 10, because usually you don't need more than the top 10. The top 10 will get you where you need to go. You don't need to waste your time with anybody who's just running around taking pictures. Whoever the top 10 advertisers are in Jamaica, and whoever the top 10 photographers are in Jamaica, you need to find a way of knowing them. And you start taking pictures if that is the more angle and advertising. So the top advertising company, whatever they do, anything they're doing or any conference they have, you should be there. You should be a part of that. And if not, start something of your own online where you're just talking about marketing and all of that. So those are some examples that I know off the top of my head. But as I said, volunteering and making that list and knowing who you are first before you pitch out there, those are the 3 strongest entry points. But when you make the list, and the other thing too, make sure you know one of each person's career. Make sure you know a lecturer who you can call up. Make sure you know a lawyer, a doctor. Make sure you have a lawyer. But remember, they also know many other persons. And after that, you ask them, do you know any? I am working on this. Can you connect me to? And it will become easier. But you'd have known them and look, because people know people way more than, you don't even know all the persons, your mother. All right?
Yes, sir, that was helpful. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. All right. Anybody else?
Yes, sir.
We have a question after. Sure.
Identify yourself and so I can call you by name.
Crystal.
Who's the brand?
Crystal.
Crystal, go.
Yes, sir. So I have this question, career.
Career.
Yes, sir. So say you always aspired to pursue a career in the finance field or the banking field, right? And that has always been your aspiration. But now you're getting information that if you choose a career, for example, in accounting or to go and work in the banking field, those careers may become obsolete in the future. So you're in a position where you're not sure what to do. You would want some form of advice. So I'm asking, what step would you take going forward, or the procedure that you would take going forward?
All right, thanks, Crystal. All right, so what I'm hearing is you started in banking, you always wanted to do banking and finance, but you're hearing about accounting, or then you're hearing persons saying that, oh, these are becoming obsolete and all of that. Let me answer it from this angle. There are three broad ways to me, and this is in one of my books coming as well. There are three broad-based ways how to do careers. Number one, which is my favorite, is to answer the question, what are you here to give? What you came on the planet to give? Please note, Crystal, this is on the level of spirituality. This is deeper than just getting money. And therefore, if you came here to do finance and banking, Crystal, do not change, because that is what's going to give you the maximum pleasure in this life. Because you will do it with money or no money at all. And when you do things from passion, my experience has been passion tends to pay. People find you because of your brand and your passion. People will always remember you're passionate about finance and banking. And therefore, what happens is that the field may evolve, but your passion for it will also evolve with it. So even if the field of finance takes a different turn and you're not doing a physical office or accounting from this angle, please note, it doesn't matter if the new businesses are online, you will still be doing accounting for the businesses that are online, and financing, which finance is about looking towards the future. Accounting tends to be recording the past events. So I don't see finance, nor accounting, nor any field changing anytime soon. All that will happen is that it will evolve into something else. And then because you're studying your brand, you would naturally evolve with it. Okay, things are going online right now, so start going online and repackage. What I'm asking you to do is to repackage your brand. Are you seeing where I'm going? That is the first one. So don't go too far from what makes you happy. Please pursue that, because if you switch, you will never be happy, because it's financial things and banking things that gets you excited. And it doesn't matter if we start living on Mars or any other planet, we will need some form of banking and financing, even Mars. So you simply go up there as well. So it will evolve. That is that part. The second part of a career, to me, is to do what is popular, where then the market is going. So if you're that kind of person where you like to follow the trend. Okay, the world seems to be going technology-based right now, so let me switch to computing. The world seems to be going entrepreneur, let me go. But if that's your kind of personality, no, I'm taking it from personality. There are some of us who just like to go with the flow. That's what gives us on the edge of glory. We're like, when we move with the flow, we get our buzz from that. But there's some of us who, that's not how we roll. I can't switch from this to this to this because the environment. No, I want stability. And then the third one is go with where the money is. And you know how I feel from that, from the first, some of my points before, that if you do what you love, the money naturally follows. But there are some of us who will do a career where the money is. So if it's accounting paying right now, they go and do a degree in that. If it is law right now, a lot of persons see money in law, so a lot of persons are becoming lawyers right now and all of that. So these are three entry points that you do. But for me personally, I like number one, where you do what makes you happy, what makes you come alive. You can't help doing it. I can't help teaching, singing, and motivate people because it surpasses money. And if I have to do it, I will just do it all day. But because I know, because I develop the skills and hone the skill, after a little while, people pay me and even pay me more. And then when you build the brand to the level that what I was talking to Adrian Campbell about, then people start to pay you even before you reach. We're going to pay you this. Then after a little while, before you even start, and then after a little time, people will wait on you to do your type of finance and banking. And remember, there are many different angles to take finance and banking through the lens in terms of industry. So you don't have to lock yourself in a box. You can always apply yourself from many different angles. Not sure if you can let me know if I answered your question. If not, I'm prepared to take it from another angle.
Yes, sir, you did, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, I heard a male voice earlier who said, I want to ask a question. Is the person still there? I heard a male's voice, or my understanding. There was another.
Yeah, I was the person, sir.
Yes, identify yourself, tell me your name, and then let us start.
I'm Rashane Stewart.
Rashane?
Yes, sir.
Rashane Stewart. Go Stewart.
So, what advice they give those person like who have a dream, and then, for example, they feel highly motivated in the moment, like right now, but like a week after, they lose sight or they're not motivated again.
All right. So you're emotionally charged right now because you're in the session, but after that, a few weeks or tomorrow, the motivation dwindles. I'm hearing you correctly, Stuart? Roshan?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here are some entry points. Number one, you start getting into the community of the people doing that particular dream. If it's not novel and just the only person. And if you're the only person, start invite some persons on your team so you can be constantly talking. So, and by extension, you develop an accountability partner, person to keep you engaged and all of that. Are you seeing where I'm going? So you start talking to people within that. So the more you start talking about it and form a club around it, and that's why I say if there is a field out there, an association about that, they talk every week and they talk every month and they meet once per month. The fact that you put yourself in, it forces you to talk. But the more you do something, the more you're likely to be sustained. Then you get an accountability partner that constantly reminds you about it. The third thing is to start writing. Start to write. Start writing, and fourthly, start to understand yourself a little bit more in terms of which time of day do you come alive more, or when do you come alive more, and find out those moments and work on the dream those moments, and don't worry about it. You see what I'm saying? If you are what some people call a morning person, you come alive in the morning. So every day, work on it at that particular time because you kind of come alive at that point. So find some entry points that tell you these moments are my best moments. I come alive in these moments. Find those moments for yourself and then talk about it, write about it. Those are the ones that I can think of right now. Or start spending some time with the dream itself and or ask the dream to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Or start doing it will keep you engaged. If you start it, no matter start small, it will keep you engaged and start to set some goals and objectives. And especially if you start to talk to some person and start it, sometimes if you start, it forces you because people are going to be depending on you and you put it up. Sometimes you have to put it out there, whatever the dream is, if it is ready for market yet, or if you're ready to share it. You see what I'm talking about? If it's not ready, don't want nobody talking about it, don't do that yet. But I know if you put it out there, so for example, you start a blog about whatever, people's dreams and all of that. And you promise yourself, put it out there on the side. Every Friday, Sunday, you're going to put up one. You know that people start come look for the blog. It's more likely, and because your credibility is on the line, you're more likely to do it because people are depending on you. And you know people coming to read the blog every Sunday. So you're more likely to do it. Yep.
Sir, could I also jump on what you're saying?
Continue.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, I was saying, I'd add a point to what you're saying. I was saying that you cannot discover the drive for the reason why you wanted to do it. So you have the motivation for it, but you also want to think and see what